Hey everybody, I'm back again. I've just done a quick bee video on how to water your bees. So once again, thank you so much for your subscriptions and for your kind comments and the love you're giving me. It really does mean a lot to me, guys. So thank you very, very much. Now I am itching to do some cards. I got the bug today. No, it's always good. I really just love tarot. It's such a healing thing to do. Just love tarot and love the connection with spirit. It's so much better than what's out there. Anyway, what I wanted to read about today, well, the first thing I have one of the subscribers was talking about like energies and where we're going and where will we be in 5 years and um, because really the energy right now it's still very dark and even though it is dark. I think that things are changing. I think that, and I should say this off the bat, entertainment only YouTube, just a tarot reader, entertainment only. And here's a rock to prove it. um, there is a lot of dark energy happening in the world right now, and especially when you think about obviously Ukraine and yeah, Palestine, sorry, Gaza Strip, I'm sorry, and just how disgusting and how horrible that situation is. And it's just such a dark energy, and I tend not to like to read on it too much publicly because it's just so dark, you know. It's just so dark, and it's just harrowing to read on that. For me, it is anyway. So I tend to I don't go there too often with that. But I have seen a few things happening in the States. So, for example, the looks like the courts are now saying the giving Trump's tariffs a one-figured salute, and it looks like some GOP people are starting to break ranks, which is good. Now that Mr. Musk is heading back to his company, and so no more was it the Department of Government Expenditure, whatever that thing was, the that thing that just basically stripped all these rights and all the not the rights. Well, that's happening too. um, Department of Government Efficiency. That's what it is. That's what it's, I've got other name for it, but I can't say here. Um, so he's now leaving or leaving. He's now leaving Trump for whatever he's going to do with his company. Because I know, what I understand, the shares have fallen and no one's buying his car, and like boo hoo. So, yeah. Um, but I just want to have a look at just what's happening, generally speaking, with the energies right now and where we're going. I tend to think that things go in cycles, and I think that we are in a dark place right now in the world. And but I've read a lot of Buddhist stuff, right? And you don't have to agree with me with this. But my feeling is that everything is transitional and nothing in life is permanent, right? Everything is in the process of change, in the process of flux. And certainly, if you think about the news cycle right now, it's just it's a bit like just like having darts thrown at you. It's just so full on. And so I can only speak for myself. I need to take a break from it because if I absorb myself in that, I will go crazy, and that's not a place that I want to be. So that's another reason why I say when it comes to the news and everything else, like pace yourself, guys. Don't go through it alone. And actually, just on that, one of the subscribers was saying to me that she went to like a workshop, and I thought that was such a great idea. Like if there are any spiritual workshops in your area that you can join with like-minded people and maybe do some healing or maybe do some meditation, um, go for it. It would be a great thing to do. Anything that you can do to escape the mess, and you know the or even if you do like meditation or something, there's lots of meditations you can do. There's Buddhist meditations, or you can just do simple breathing meditations. Actually, some of the Buddhist meditations, they're really trippy, actually, because you're kind of vision in your skin becoming translucent and stuff like that. But they're really interesting to do. But um, but the thing is, like, just make sure that you get away from the mess, and just pace yourself. Like, don't have the news on all the time. Just switch off, and if you can get out into nature, or because nature's really regenerating. And that's one of the reasons why, like I said, I've got on my channel, I've got a section called Relax. I think I've called it Relax. And you can just go to those videos and it's under that playlist. And I've got the rain, which I did about a week or so ago. I've got a link to a video thing on Australia. So you can just kind of go down there, or even look at the bee videos, whatever. So I'm in a way like I'm trying to like bring the nature to you guys. Like if you're in a situation where you can't get out into nature physically, or you think, geez, I wouldn't mind going for a walk, but it's like, 3 o'clock in the morning or something. Grab a YouTube video. There's oodles of them out there on nature, and that way you can bring the nature to you. Just have maybe a dark room and just veg or concentrate or let your mind go and look at that person walking through the forest or whatever. It's just ways that I find helps me relax, because it's just so manic right now. So, but I do think that we will be in a process of change, and I kind of do think that the pendulum will swing the other way. It We have to do the work, right? We have to keep protesting and rioting, and we have to do the work. But um, but I do believe that things will change, and I think things are changing. To be honest, I'm enjoying seeing the pushback from the felon, like the protest, and people are getting involved with that, and the protesting is really good because it's sorry for rambling so much, guys. Protesting is really good, and I've said it before, but I've protested against I protested against the marriage equality discrimination that the gay and lesbian community went through, and that took us about a decade of hardcore protesting, but we got marriage equality. I protested against the war in Iraq because Australia just blindly follows the US, and I just felt so horrible about that war in Iraq. And as it turned out, Iraq didn't have weapons of mass destruction, and that's a whole other story. Um, but there was probably about a million of us in Sydney. We shut down the city because there were so many of us, and we just protested peacefully. And the thing that I remember about that the most was that there was, straight people, gay people, old people, young people, people of different colors. It was a real mixture of people. And in a way, like bikers were there. And in a way, it would be groups of people that you would not know, that you would not normally associate hanging out together. But there we all were. And the differences that we had were insignificant because we were focused on trying to get, in that case was the war in Iraq, but voicing our opinion. And like I've said, if you're going to protest, like the key ingredient for me at least is to you take some water with you so you can yell, because yelling's important because you've got to, if you're gonna make noise, it's you need to kind of, well, me at least, you need to keep your throat fairly moist so you can, because otherwise your throat gets really raspy and dry. If you want to belt out some stuff, and bring water for someone else, it's a really good way to meet people. You can say, "Hi, I'm Alan, and here's some water for you." Like I remember when I went to the one of the protests against Iraq, the one that we had in Sydney. I think it was back in 2002 or 2003. I can't remember. It was sometime I was in my 30s. Um, anyway, but the people that I was sitting next to in Hyde Park in the city, they were like this couple in their maybe their 60s or 70s or something, and they they were protesting against Vietnam, and they'd been to a lot of other protests like before even I was born. And I still remember a really, really nice couple, and I remember helping them up because they were getting older. And so I helped them to their feet before we started marching. And I said, "Hey, would you like some water?" And it was a hot day. I think the protest was in February or something. So February is really disgusting in Sydney. It's hot and humid, and just for me it drains my energy. So but yeah, but we were out there, and I remember just giving them some water, and just a bottle of water, like nothing flash, or maybe I gave them a bottle of water each. And it was nice to support them and to encourage them, and that we had a conversation, and it encouraged that friendship, like at least for the day. Like we didn't keep in touch, but it encouraged that. And so protesting, I always think that it's important that it is inclusive. It's not, it is one voice saying, hey, stop, enough, we're done. It's not, we're not done with each other, but we're done against whatever crap is happening. Like, stop, we're done. And certainly that's the case right now. And another good thing about protesting is that it gets it off your chest. You just get all that energy. Like if you're feeling angry and you're yelling, you'll go home feeling that burden has been at least lifted a bit. So you feel that you're actually contributing to the solution. So, but even like going back to the marriage equality stuff, like, we were getting like some people were abusing us as well, and like not the group, but the other people, and saying um, that it would destroy the constitution of marriage, and it would all this rubbish that people were coming out with. Just disgusting, just absolutely disgusting. And I won't even talk about the Indigenous stuff in Australia. We had a thing called The Voice, which was a voice to Parliament, and and I went to a few rallies for pro that as well. To say yes to the voice, and and we were so, my country was so disgusting that we didn't even allow them to have an official voice in Parliament. Like just sick that that's how backwards Australia can be. So don't think that I'm always knocking the US citizen. I'm always knocking the US president. Like I do knock him. And once again, YouTube entertainment only. Um, but I'm also not ashamed to say that, my country has an appalling human rights record. If you look at what we did to our Aboriginal people, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting, and it's gut wrenching. And it didn't need to be that way. It did not need to be that way. And so, we had this thing called The Voice, and then the opposition, which is the Conservative Party. They were basically saying that the Aboriginals will take all the land office, and just other people will get thrown out, and there'll be they just made up all this bullshit, all these lies, right? And it was just full on. So I got out there and protested, and even though we didn't get the voice, and I'm really disgusted as an Australian to say that that's how backwards we can be, and how racist and xenophobic that we can be. So I'm just being blunt about that. Um, but what I'm saying is that at least it's important to at least get your voice heard. And I do believe, flipping it to where we are now, I do believe that now with what's happening in the US, it's horrible. And I mean, the whole thing is just a mess, but we've just got to keep at it, guys. Just keep at it, and don't go through it alone, and just keep focused on what you can do. And, you don't have to respond to every news article, because there's so much stuff coming at us. And I do believe in a lot of ways, it's just really about flooding the zone, like just flooding the zone. It's designed to wear us out. It's designed to destroy us mentally, and it's designed to break us down. You know what I mean? So much shit coming at us. And it's designed to do all those things. So that's why I always say, take some time out from it. Go on those walks, watch a video on nature, like just pause the news. You might even say to yourself, okay, I'm not going to watch any news after 3 p.m. or 6 p.m., but definitely not before you go to bed. Just do something nice for yourself. You try and do something nice for yourself. And it doesn't mean that you have to spend money. Go for a walk in the park, or, you know, catch up with a friend, or if there are any, like I said, if there are any healing seminars or anything spiritual going on in your area, go for it, guys. Just go for it. Keep in touch with like-minded people. And there's a great tarot community out here as well, and some really great readers and some really good insights. And I enjoy watching all the readers. I really get a lot out of all of them. I just really love being part of this community as well. What a rant. So what I'll do is when I do the video, I'll timestamp when I start reading. If you don't want to hear all this waffle, okay, so I'll pop that in there. So yeah, so I'll timestamp. So not timestamp, but I'll pin a comment to say when I started reading because I just had a big rave. What am I doing? Like I'm clearing some kind of a blockage or something. I don't know. Yeah. But having said all of that, and I'm sorry about the big rant, okay? I'm sorry about that. But I'm human. I'm really human. So, and honestly, I'm a water sign, and I'm a water sign, so I feel this. Trust me. So what I wanted to do is just look at the energies and just see like where we're heading with the energies. Like, say in the next, say, 5 years. Oh no, let's say the next 2 years, 1 to 2 years. Because so everything is in such a state of flux. I don't want to read any further than say 2 or 3 years. But say in the next, say, 2 years, Spirit, where are we going? Like, where are we going as like our energy levels and spirit and stuff? Where are we going? Knight of Swords just came out. So, yeah, that's all the messaging that there is. All right, guys, I'm going to continue shuffling. And we're going to come on down and we're going to do some cards. All right, guys, come on down. Okay, guys, come on down. I hope you can see that. I've got that camera angle there, right? So just quickly, where are we going? Here's and where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Okay. Page of Cups. Chariot. The Emperor. Okay. Seven of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. Okay. Come on up, guys. There we go. Magic. Okay. Let me just have a look at these, eh? Okay, guys, I've had a bit of a look and a think about these cards. And this is what I think. So the first card that came out is the Page of Cups. So see the look on his face? He's like, oh, he's like, I think we I think we feel a bit like that. It's all a bit overwhelming. It's like, we're seeing things in the air and it is very emotional right now. But I do think what I'm seeing is that it's the kindness that people are starting to show each other. And I think that I'll get to it later, but I can see that I think right now it's almost like we're planting a lot of seeds right now that are going to ripen. I don't think we really are aware of what good that we're doing, even as a as a community and as a worldwide movement. And yes, there's plenty of stuff going on, but I think right now I'm seeing that in the midst of all this stuff, we're actually conveying messages of love and kindness to each other. And I think that's really, really, really important because things are going to change. Things are going to bolt ahead. So this is kind of what I was talking about, how things transition. Energy is always changing. It's like it's always flowing, right? And if you think about water, like water likes to move. Like if say for example, if you've got a river, rivers like to flow. You've got water in a dam, you don't want to, you've got to put energy into keeping that water. Water will fill the container that it's in naturally. So water's got energy to it, and there is a lot of emotion out there, and I think there should be a lot of emotion out there. But with this Page of Cups, this is to me saying that the most important thing that we can do right now is to give people messages of kindness and love and support, because and to let people know that nothing is permanent. Things are going to be changing. Now, unfortunately, he's still going to be around, but I'm wondering, is he going to be going somewhere as well? I'm wondering that if that's going to happen. So you guys know what I'm talking about, right? I don't want to say anything too much on YouTube because, blah, blah, blah. And I better say entertainment only YouTube. But I'm wondering if a certain orange person might be going on a celestial journey. Let's say it like that. And then we're going to have a bit of a review. So this is the Seven of Pentacles. And I do think, like, do you remember before when I spoke about how giving each other giving each other kind messages and messages of love and support, like we're planting seeds, guys. And these, even though we might think, or I might sometimes think that, what am I really achieving here? I'm just, sending a message to a friend, or I might be whatever I'm doing on a whatever little level, or me with the bees, or whatever I'm doing. Like it might just be a small little thing, but seeds tend to grow, and they nurture and they heal when they, and there's going to be new life. Because at the base of the deck, there's the there's the Ace of Cups. And I do think that we are heading for some kind of awakening. There's going to be something new because aces are beginnings, And if you kind of look, you can almost say that this energy is radiating from this person's heart. This water energy coming out, you know. And I do think as well that with the Magician, this is us manifesting, and this is us using our resources. And I think the feeling I'm getting from this is the question I asked was basically where are we going with the energy, and I kind of got a reading about us. I think the reading I've got is actually what we should be doing and what will be happening around us. Like I said, very much like be kind to each other, plant those seeds, plant those kind seeds, and there's that new beginning and manifesting, putting all your resources together. And if you've got resources to help someone else, help that person out. If you've got spare time or spare anything and someone's struggling, if you can afford to do it on whatever level, do it. Help someone else out. But on the flip side of that, yes, things are going to be changing and moving forward. And like I said, maybe a certain person might not be around that long, or maybe a certain person might be moved out of office at the very least. But you can also say there's going to be some review as well. It could even be a review of him. That could even be part of it as well. But I'm just seeing a lot of water and a lot of earth energy happening here. And I think that's the important thing to do. So more so rather than kind of focus on what's happening around us, and that's important to focus on that. But what I'm getting is what can we do about it? What can I do to change the narrative? What can I do to help people? What can I do to make a difference? Because I think when we get together and we make a difference and we manifest, that's how we're going to get the change. It's when we all join together as one voice. And there's that new beginning with the Ace of Cups. That's what I think, guys. That's what I think. I do think that things are very much going to be in a state of flux for at least for quite some time. But the reading I've got is actually about, I think, what we need to do. Sometimes tarot does that. You can ask a question and you kind of get something to the side. But that's what I'm feeling intuitively. That this reading is actually about us and about maybe a person departing. So that's all that's all I'll say about that, guys. Anyway, just a quick reading. I know that was a bit interesting. I wasn't expecting that. But that's what happens when you tune into the cards, I guess. You get these little surprises, and it's one of the things which I love about tarot. All right, guys, I'll be back soon with another reading. Okay, bye for now. And that's it.